Smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440 or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Thank you, sir. 12 minutes before 12 o'clock, it's time for Midday with Joe, and Joe's not in the studio.
Yeah.
Is he busy? He's got a new role in the play that he's in.
Yeah.
That is soon to be released, like this afternoon. It's a radio play. Now, this morning you might have heard it live. Mm-hmm. But we do have the recording of it, and we'll put it out there this afternoon.
Yeah, that'll be pretty cool.
But it won't just be audio. You'll be able to see the actors as well. Joe will be at the far end of the table wearing a white hat.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. His white fedora.
And the guy
looks dapper.
And the guy with the cigar forgot to light it.
Yeah, that's right. But it looked good. It looked like it was used because it looked like it was used.
It looked like it had been used. Did you ever do that? Did you ever? I mean, aside from the Robin and the Giant stuff, I know you did radio plays because we did them.
Yeah, we did.
But did you ever do
Buttons.
Did you ever do this stage stuff? Anything else?
No, because I'm just not interested in that. It's just not. Oh no, I did in high school. I was a nun, and on a clear day you can see forever. We danced and sang in that one, and
Joe's turning the apple tree so we can see him.
And it was it was fun, but I have no aspirations to be an actor.
Joe Martone.
Upstaged by an apple tree.
Was that fun this morning? Did you have fun?
I had a ball with it. It was good.
So I reserved this.
It felt good with all the professionals around me.
And they were, too.
They were
yeah.
And you fit right in.
I'm a ham.
Well, no, you're very talented. You're not a ham because you weren't gaudy or anything. You were right in the character.
So I know you've told us off the air, so I'm not really asking to know.
Okay.
Because maybe I don't know. I don't know. But for the listeners.
I know, but I don't know.
Well, I don't know what I don't know what you've actually told us. But you've told us something about the radio plays you did in North Carolina.
Blue Ridge Radio Players.
So tell the listeners about that. And
Blue Ridge Radio Players was an organization put together by Hank Borum, who lived to a ripe old age of 95. But in his early 80s, he got bored, basically. And he decided to make radio plays, just like you heard this morning, fully produced with sound effects for the blind and visually impaired.
Oh, nice.
And see, the Blue Ridge Radio Players, and then it goes under another title, but if you look up Blue Ridge Radio Players, you can find them. And they're in every single Veterans Hospital and most of the libraries across the United States.
Wow.
It's all free. Everybody did everything for free. We were a nonprofit. We did take donations in, which paid for the cassettes when they started, and then went to CDs after. But with the cassettes, it was funny because the cassettes was like, side one is over, please turn it over, or something like that. Right. So anyway, it was good. It was well done. Hank Borum was old Hollywood, George Burns, Milton Berle era, way back then. His wife, Betty, she produced Password for those who are into game shows way back. And they had a stable of actors that came from Broadway, Hollywood, whatever. How they found them, I'll never know. But they would drive, like they do here, hour and a half, 2 hours, and they would drive twice. Once for a full dress rehearsal, quote unquote, and then the second time to actually record it. And there's one gentleman, he was the voice of Sherlock Holmes. I mean, he just epitomized Sherlock Holmes, and his wife was from England. So she was the one that helped choreograph the accents. It was a Cockney accent. No, not supposed to be like that. You don't sound like that in Cockney. And she just went on and on.
Oh, she was the coach then.
And she was a coach, and she also played a part. And she would teach us what different things were in England. Like a boot in England is not something for your foot; it's the trunk of a car. Or a lift is an elevator. A torch is a flashlight. Things like that.
Oh.
And because people were acting, but they didn't know what they were talking about, basically,
Right.
So I picked up the torch and I went over there, it's like, to them it was a torch, like you would think,
with a big flame and everything.
Right, yeah, King Arthur's time.
Yeah.
But the torch is a flashlight. So she educated us on what things were, and it was. I mean, I was in awe every time they recorded, because these people were like, woof. And most of them were retired, and they were just doing it to help.
That was the sound effect right there. These people were like, woof.
Oh yeah, I do it automatically. Yeah. But I was just in awe of them all the time, and the only thing, they never would make a mistake, and they always acted standing up. And we didn't have, like this morning we had notebooks, and the pages were, you put your hand under the page and you just gently flip and it just goes automatically. Back then it was just stapled in one corner, and you would flip it and you would flip it. And that was the only thing they were not used to, was flipping the pages quietly. And if they were in between a word, I could edit that out.
Oh.
But if they were talking, you were...
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. The wind of it.
Yeah.
And I would have to stop the whole production. He was the director. Hank directed most of them, and I would say, I'd give him a little nudge, I'd say, sorry. And he would stop the whole production. All right, who flipped the page? Kind of thing.
Oh, nice.
And then they would all, and then they would all, very gently, And then eventually they got the, what do you call them? The music stands. Excuse me, and put the paper on it. But still, if you don't, you can still hit it, woof, because he had one microphone we used. That was it, one microphone.
Wow.
But this microphone, I don't know how much this thing has cost. I've never seen one like it. It was gold, literally. And it hung straight down, and had all these little switches on the side, which could be the omni-directional or quad directional. I mean, it had all these. So if you were standing in front of it, it would pick you up and not anything behind it.
Oh, nice.
So it had that one actor, okay, we're going to record his voice. It would block out the sounds on the other side and direct it to him. Or if there was two people, or four people, and sometimes there was four people around that microphone, and then someone would step back or someone had to come in and do their part. And it was all, and he had redone his whole basement.
Wow.
And put these sound effect buffers all around, and then he had an actual booth he built down there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was an experience, and we started with reel to reel recording the voices on reel to reel.
Yeah.
But that's what I started.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And are they still used today? Do you know? Or do they still produce?
Still out there.
They still produce them?
I don't think they're producing anymore.
Okay. So they're out there somewhere.
I looked them up. They're still out there. I don't know how many that were made. I remember the last count, I think it was 50 some odd, but there's probably more because I stepped back. They used to be at Hendersonville, North Carolina, mm-hmm. and then they moved the operation to Tryon, North Carolina, which is 45 minutes from, as they say, down the mountain. Mm-hmm. Tryon is on the border of North Carolina, South Carolina. Mm-hmm. You just drive down the street, oops, you're over here. Over the railroad tracks, you're in South Carolina.
I bet you had a lot of camaraderie when you were doing those radio plays.
Yes, a lot of people, but like I said, I stood there in awe because they were heads.
So did you say that
head above me?
That they wrote their own?
Some of the plays, they wrote their own plays, and they put a word out there that if you want to write, they pay you for them. Oh. So they didn't have to keep paying royalties over and over and over again. Right. Yeah. So yeah, it was very, very interesting.
That's pretty amazing. So can we hear your voice on some of those?
Yes, my voice is on some of those. And you see
wonderful.
And they used to read the credits at the end or the beginning.
Really?
So you'll hear
Blue Ridge.
Blue Ridge Radio Players.
Blue Ridge Radio Players. Wow.
I can't think of it. It's under the opsis of. I can't think of what it was. Too many years.
And that was really before. I was telling Robin yesterday that when I used to be on the road a lot, in my younger days, the best place to get audiobooks was the truck stop.
Yes.
They always had these cassettes of different books and
then who took over after them?
Bookstores.
Cracker Barrel.
Oh, you're right. They do sell them. Yeah.
And what Cracker Barrel was, you buy one from here. And then you bring it to another Cracker Barrel after you listen to it, and you get a discount for the next one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Something like that.
Oh, really?
Something like they did, yeah.
But it's interesting.
Nice.
Like if you went to a bookstore back in those days, the only audiobooks were the classics. Like I don't know.
Sherlock Holmes,
Hemingway, Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah. But in the truck stops, they had the pulp fiction writers and.
They had all kinds.
Yeah.
Quite well. The truckers on the road, sure. So yeah,
And they were a
enjoyed lot
variety
of it.
too. I mean, some of them were just like one person reading them.
Yeah, that's boring.
Kind of boring. Yeah.
I like the ones that the full, like you did today. And those that didn't know, Larry was in the background putting in all the sound effects at the right.
So is that how you did it
time.
up in North Carolina? You had electronic.
What we did was, oh yeah, it was all electronic. But what we did is we had what they call a dry read. So we just read everything. And after everything was all read, then they brought it. There was and there still are.
Oh, then you added it.
We didn't do it. We brought it to a professional.
Oh, okay.
studio. There's 2 professional studios out there. I'm talking professional studios that did the sounds for Circuit City and Match. I know all the big names up there. There's one, and let's see, I think his name's. I forgot his name now. I know the name of the studio. There's a studio up there, and there's another one in Orlando. Same owner. Went to 2 places.
Oh my!
And the other gentleman plunked down $2.2 million to redo his studio up in North Carolina. Beautiful studio. And then everything started going electronic. So you got all these booths that could take an orchestra in it, perfect, quiet and everything. But they're not being used because everybody's is doing it from their home now. So basically what they do is it's filtered in to them. And then they make all the connections, and they record while the professional in Chicago is talking. They're in North Carolina, and New York hears it, and it's like we're in the same room, like we're talking now, and it's phenomenal. So what do we have, about 5 more seconds?
Nice.
You got 20 seconds.
Oh, 20 seconds. So it worked. It worked, and what they did is they recorded a backup. So if something happened at the other end, that's what they were getting. They were getting paid for. They put it all together. And they're still doing it today. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Talk about, you could hear a pin drop. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to us today at AM Ocala Live with Robin and Larry. This is WOCA Ocala.
This is a Fox News Alert. I'm Lillian Wu.
The Cold War is a thing of past.
The Russian president threw a